gosh. Well, hello. How are you?
I am very happy to be here. How are you?
Who's hosting this, me or you?
Oh, sorry.
Hi guys, it's Emiko with Hammond Organs HTV, and I am sitting here. I am so happy to be here with our new Hammond brother, Toby Lee Marshall. Hi Toby, how's it going?
Wow, man, I'm having the time of my life. This is great. Wonderful to be here with Hammond, be a part of the Hammond family. It's a dream come true. It's an honor. To get asked to play this thing on stage yesterday was just one of the biggest thrills I've ever had.
So let's talk about that for a second, because you play with the Koch Marshall Trio.
Correct.
And yesterday was the big unveiling of the new Hammond SKX, which we're sitting here with. And Toby was the first artist to ever play it on a big stage. How did that feel for you?
It felt great. It's a little bit of a departure since I'm usually playing a big old organ, but what this thing doesn't have in size, physically, sonically, it is a monster. It's huge. The bass that was coming out of that thing was just amazing. All the things that you can do with it, it's mind-blowing. I love it. Really.
So what was your favorite thing about the SKX now?
The fact that I can play it like an old organ is really wonderful. The extra set of drawbars, the pedal drawbars. It just, gosh, honestly, the overdrive really, really blew my mind.
Yeah.
And hearing it back, it sounded like a big old Leslie tube amp, and it blows my mind. It's 37 pounds, and you can take it anywhere, and you can sound the way you want.
I noticed that you have a very, very interesting story of how you became a Hammond artist. We were talking about this a little bit yesterday.
Yes.
And what you were doing beforehand. And I'd love you to tell the viewers this, because for anybody that is watching this and thinks, Hammond has this reputation for being the master, the king of instruments in a lot of ways. And if you're not legendary, then you don't play it. And in fact, Hammond is for everybody. We're an inclusive family of musicians and artists, all genres, all ages, races, musical styles, everything. And so Toby's story is really inspiring, and it's very insightful as to how this stuff really works. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I started out actually as a teenager. I became a full-time musician. I got lucky enough to get to play with Lonnie Brooks when I was 19 years old. And up until, I had a family. Okay, so I was playing, and then I had a family, and I was touring a lot, and I decided I need to be home for my kids. And so I stopped playing. I got a job on a farm. I learned how to drive a Peterbilt.
Okay, for those of them that don't know what that is, tell us what that is.
It's a semi-truck. I learned how to I became a truck driver. If it was good enough for Elvis, it was good enough for me. So I was hauling crops for farmers in Wisconsin. And that was fun, and it allowed me to be home while my first son was very young. But one day I was in the truck and I just went, I need to go back. I need to go do what I feel like I was meant to do. And with no plan at all, decided that's what I was going to do. I quit the farm. Somehow, through some friends, I met Dylan Koch, Greg Koch's son, and who introduced me to Greg, and we ended up having kind of an impromptu jam in Milwaukee, Wisconsin that was recorded, and it ended up being our record, which is coming out February 23rd, by the way. It's called Toby Arrives, Koch Marshall Trio. Where am I in the story? So Greg met Scott, I believe, this summer at Summer
NAMM, I think.
Summer
right?
NAMM, that's what it was. And Greg came up to Scott and said, "Hey, I'm starting an organ trio, and we should get to know each other." And I was driving my Peterbilt one day. I got a text from Greg with a picture of a Hammond hat. He said, hey, basically, welcome to the Ham fam. And we went a while later, we went down, met Scott, and did all the official stuff. But my point was, with no plan, I somehow ended up here as part of the Hammond family, which is really a dream come true, because Hammond is really it's everything for me.
So if it's everything for you, then you should have no problem answering this question on the spot. And the question is, the first 3 words that come to your mind when you think of Hammond, Oregon, go.
Rock. 2 notes. One word? It's got to be one word?
One word. So technically that was your 3 words, 2 notes.
Okay.
But have another one.
Turn it up as loud as it goes.
That's a lot of words, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't follow the rules at all, did I?
But isn't that part of Hammond, Oregon, is breaking the boundaries and breaking the rules?
It's about, here's your palette, whatever you want, whatever you feel, make it happen, make it real, put your foot in it and go. Just like the truck.
Talk to us a little bit about, do you have any favorite Hammond artists?
Many. As far as the ones everybody would know, Jimmy McGriff, Groove Holmes, those guys, obviously Jimmy Smith, Bob. Jimmy McGriff's funkiness though, and his drawbar settings, they just grabbed me, and you know, the funkier side is great. Groove Holmes bass lines just floored me. Jack McDuff, I was fortunate enough to run into as a youngster in Minneapolis when he was living in Minneapolis. He told me some things that just
good advice.
Mind.
Right, I gotcha. Wow.
There's another guy that nobody's probably heard of. His name's Steve Cherawan. He was my organ mentor. He taught me the ins and outs, how to operate the machine, how to use my foot to play some bass. He's not with us anymore, but he was probably one of the best I've heard. So look him up if you can find anything on him. It's worth it.
So having a mentor is a really, really important thing, I think, in all aspects of life in general,
sure.
right?
Yes.
And you're a dad,
yes,
and I'm a mom. And so we know that our children are watching us whenever we're playing, right? Whenever we're doing something for our careers. What advice do you have for youngsters that are watching this who are, they tend to be a little bit threatened because Hammond organ is such a beastly, kingly instrument. I think it's like, if you don't wail on it, ooh, I don't think I should touch it. And the parents often will shy them away. Oh, no, don't touch that, it'll break. Mm-hmm. But what advice or encouragement can you give to them if they're interested?
Be yourself. You know, you can compare yourself to other artists endlessly and always think, oh, I'm not good enough. And that's not what it's about. It's, you know, find yourself in the instrument. You know, do the things that make you feel something. And because if you don't feel it, nobody else will feel it. And that's better than anything. Feel. You can play a million notes. You can do all these runs. You can flash all you want. But if nobody feels it, well, if you don't feel it, nobody's going to feel it. It's not going to translate. Be yourself. That's my advice. And play a Hammond. Don't play anything but a Hammond, and play it loud. And you know, if you play an old one, have a lot of friends that are big and strong, and have vans and trailers. But if you're not doing that, get the SKX, take it wherever you want, and rock. That's what I got.
Toby Lee Marshall, thank you for being on HTV with us.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's a dream come true.
And officially, welcome to the family.
Thank you. I am so happy to be home.
Yay! For everybody watching HTV, this is your humble host, Emiko. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to us for all the latest and greatest updates, interviews, product demos, behind the scenes, really special contests and concert footage, and all sorts of fun things from Hammond, Oregon. Peace out. See you next time.